Okay, so let's say you've done it. You've spent years on this incredible invention, you've poured everything into it, and you've finally filed for that patent. And then you get the news. It's been rejected. Man, that feels like a punch to the gut, right? But what if I told you that a rejection isn't really the end? What if it's actually the start of a whole new chapter? Today, we're talking about a super powerful tool that can turn that rejection into a relaunch, the Request for Continued Examination, or RCE. So you're sitting there, staring at that dreaded final office action. It's the official letter from the patent office, and it's basically a no. The language is dense, the tone feels so final. It's so easy to feel like you've just slammed into a brick wall. You start asking yourself, was all that work, all that passion, for nothing? Is my dream of getting this invention patented just dead in the water? And you know what? That's a totally normal reaction. This quote nails it. It captures that sinking feeling, that sense that you've been knocked all the way back to the beginning of the board game. But what if that's not the whole story? What if there's a completely different way to look at this situation? Okay, let's really dig into this because this is the key. Filing an RCE is not hitting the reset button. Think of it as a strategic relaunch. You're not starting over. You're actually continuing the conversation. But this time, you have a massive advantage. You know exactly what the examiner's issues are. So let's pull back the curtain on the RCE. In this next part, we're going to bust some of those common myths and show you the reality of how savvy inventors use this to their advantage. This right here is a total game changer for how you should think about this. The myth says you're starting from scratch, that your history is erased, that you've lost all momentum. But the reality, it couldn't be more different. It's just a paused conversation that you get to restart. Your history isn't gone. It's actually extended. It's the foundation you're building on. And you're not losing momentum, you're preserving it. So what is an RCE really? Think of it like a formal way of saying to the patent examiner, hey, I heard you, I see your concerns, and I'm ready to talk about them. It reopens that conversation and gives you another at-bat to make your case. But this time, you're not flying blind. You have the examiner's feedback, which is basically a roadmap to getting that yes. And this is why your history is your biggest asset. The examiner doesn't just get amnesia. Nope, they have the complete file right in front of them. Every email, every argument, every little change you've made. And that's a good thing. It means the conversation is already focused. You've already done the hard work of narrowing down the real points of disagreement, and that gives you a huge head start. But listen, it's not just about what you say in your RCE, it's about when you file it. Seriously, timing is everything. One expert put it perfectly. It's like reading the wind before you set sail. A well-timed RCE can be the thing that separates success from failure. So when you get that final office action, you're basically at a fork in the road. Path A is to appeal. That's a long, slow, and pretty expensive process, and it's really best for when you think the examiner made a clear legal mistake. But then there's Path B, filing an RCE. This is way faster and more cost-effective if your goal is to just keep the dialogue going and find a solution. So how do you know if an RCE is the right move? Well, look for these signals. First, have the rejections gotten really specific? You're not dealing with vague issues anymore. Second, do the objections seem solvable? And do you have a real plan to solve them? You're not just guessing. Maybe the examiner even hinted at what they would approve. And finally, does your business just need to get this done? If so, it's probably time to file. This is such an important insight. A lot of the time, a patent gets rejected not because the invention is bad, but because the inventor just didn't explain it clearly enough. The framing was off. And the RCE? That's your chance to fix it. It's your opportunity to reframe the entire conversation, simplify your language, and make your case so clear that it's impossible for the examiner to say no. Okay, so you know when to file an RCE. Now let's talk about how to make it a winner. This isn't just about getting a second chance. It's about making the absolute most of that chance. It's about taking the wheel and steering this thing toward a great outcome. This right here, this is the mental shift you have to make. You're not on defense anymore. You are on offense. You are playing strategy. You're no longer just reacting to what the examiner says. You're proactively addressing their concerns before they even solidify. You're not just hoping for a good result, you're building it step by step. So here it is, a simple 3-step plan for a winning RCE. First, simplify. Cut out the jargon, get rid of any fuzzy language. Make your claims crystal clear. Second, focus. What is the absolute core of your invention? The part that drives your business? Protect that like a fortress. And third, communicate. Don't just file the RC and sit back and wait. Which brings us to this pro-level move that can make all the difference.
Seriously, schedule an interview with the examiner. A simple phone call can clear up so much confusion. It builds a relationship that you just can't get through formal letters. It humanizes the whole process and shows the examiner you're a partner trying to get this right, not an opponent.
All right, let's bring this all home. We've gone from seeing a patent rejection as this devastating dead end to seeing it for what it really is, a strategic turning point. This is all about you taking control, owning your patent journey, and writing your own success story. So here's your RCE playbook. Just remember these key things. It's a conversation, not a reset. Timing is a business decision, so be strategic. Your goal is to be clear, not just to argue. You're using this to protect your core business. And, most of all, an RCE is not a sign of failure, it's a sign of smart, focused persistence. Look, a final office action isn't a period at the end of a sentence. It's a comma. It's a chance to pause, take a breath, and come back even stronger. The conversation is not over. The story is not finished. The only question left is how are you going to write the next chapter?